News alert for you now. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office says a man is in custody accused of robbing two women in separate cases, and one of those victims is now dead.
Deputies say he trapped a victim in her own bathroom after holding her at gunpoint and assaulting her. Travius Jackson, on your screen, facing multiple charges including armed robbery, kidnapping, and first-degree assault. He's currently being held in the Greenville County Detention Center.
Officials began investigating this in July after they say Jackson approached a woman walking her dog near Woodruff Road and forced her inside of her apartment with a gun. Arrest warrants say once inside, Jackson stole the woman's debit card, assaulted her, and exposed himself to her. Deputies say he then forced her into the bathroom before moving a dresser in front of her door so she couldn't get out. Now, while investigating that case, officials also identified Jackson as a suspect in a break-in at an elderly woman's apartment. The 86-year-old victim's body was found September 12th inside an apartment on Knightspur Court in Simpsonville. Deputies say Jackson broke into her home just 2 days before and stole her purse. Investigators say he was caught on video trying to use her card at a bank. Deputies are still investigating the woman's death. Her name and how she died have not yet been released. Now, Jackson was arrested on September 15th during a traffic stop in Spartanburg County.
He was supposed to appear in bond court today, but refused to show up twice. He has another hearing scheduled for tonight, and we'll keep you updated if anything happens.